After studying this module, you shall be able to know about customer centricity, learn customer-centric marketing, identify importance of customer-centric marketing, evaluate characteristics of customer-centric organization, analyze framework of customer-centric selling. Introduction. Today, the way companies are interacting with their consumers has totally changed. Now, new channels have emerged for communicating with consumers in this dynamic and technological environment. These changes have also led to a change in the mindset of consumers. Their expectations have increased. The consumers have become more aware and they expect that their needs should be given more and more recognition by the companies. Due to these changes, companies are investing more and more money on customer-oriented strategies as those companies want to earn handsome revenue in today's mobile world. Customer-oriented organizations focuses its attention on satisfying the needs and wants of consumer, and primarily individual needs are studied rather than overall market's need. In customer-oriented marketing, each customer's needs are assessed individually and then results are drawn whether to serve the needs of consumers directly or through intermediaries. One fact has increasingly become clear over the past 60 years that the marketplace is now customer driven. The entrepreneurs who are entering into new businesses will gain competitive advantage in the market only when they have customer driven strategies. It is truly said that products sold to existing customers are more profitable than products sold to new customers. This can be achieved only when the companies have long-lasting relationship with the customers. So, customer-driven strategies are to be framed by companies in order to have high customer loyalty base for the company. Next, we will study about meaning and role of customer centricity. If one wants to be a leader in the 21st century, it is essential that the company should have customer-driven strategies. In today's competitive environment, nobody owns the customer. It is the customer who owns the market. Thus, it is rightly said that customer is the king of the market. It is necessary that the company should manufacture brands according to the needs of consumers. Then only the company would be in a position to maintain long-lasting relations with the customers. Customers always have new concerns and needs which make it difficult for companies to predict their behavior. Companies should work harder and understand these changes and try to remain close with the customers. According to Patrick Wenker, Director of Strategic Services for Cobile, without truly understanding your customers' behaviors, likes and dislikes related to your products, a customer will never be at the center of your efforts. The companies who are customer-centric understand the values of the customers and therefore they frame various strategies of marketing like product development, product positioning, market research, after-sales service according to the requirements of consumers. The various advantages of customer-centric marketing are increase in the productivity of the organization, improvement in sales turnover rates, helps in providing innovative products according to the needs of consumers, thereby fulfilling the requirement of product development, creating new demand and new product generation for the customers. A customer-centric organization enjoys a high level of customer loyalty base. In these organizations, the customer satisfaction level is high. Right product at right time at right place sent to the consumers. Helps in increasing superior consumer experience. Helps in product differentiation for the company. Helps in increasing cost efficiency for the company. It is also vital for companies to manage customers with their current and potential profitability in mind. If companies are using innovative technology and putting every effort to reach consumers at the right place and at the right time, then the company will win the confidence of the consumers and confidence with the customers. All these efforts by the company will help the company to be on the lines of customer centricity and be a market leader in the world through high customer base. Next, characteristics of customer-centric organization. As competition increases in the market, more and more products flow into the market. The need of the hour becomes to expand the customer base and enhance the relationships with the customer. To survive in the competitive environment, it has become very difficult for companies to keep their customers always happy. But still, the companies frame strategies now and then to retain the existing customers and also win the confidence of new customers. Companies time to time make a change in their customer-centric policies so that they can have new and innovative products for the consumers. Those companies which are engaged in customer-centric marketing have really generated high profit margins from their competitors. If the organization wants that they should be on profitable lines, then they should plan their customer-centric policies in a planned manner and time to time make changes in their customer-centric policies. Various studies have been undertaken now and then to determine what makes the organization customer-centric. Researchers have revealed that the following 6 characteristics, if present in the organization, makes it customer-centric. The various characteristics are: consumers' view on life cycle. Customer-centric companies are working hard to build long-lasting relationship with their customers. They collect all the information that which factors motivates consumers a lot to buy the product of their companies. Today, companies gather information about the taste and need of consumers in various kinds of events also. In event-oriented marketing, the companies take a wider view about each consumer life cycle. For example, at childhood stage, what were his likings, and when he is a teenager, what are his tastes, and after marriage, is there any change in the taste of the consumer? When they become parents and acquire home, then what will be their needs? So, the successful customer-centric companies use together past and present data from the various life experiences of the consumers and manufacture the product according to their life experiences. Next is the shift in mindset. To become a customer-centric organization, it becomes essential for the companies that they should shift their mindset from selling products to problem solver for the consumers. When companies give a deep thought on customer retention, then they often frame questions on various issues like what kind of policies the company should frame for retaining the existing consumers. So, the companies and corporate should focus their attention on personal customer care, then only the company will be in a position to have loyal customers for the organization. Building loyalty and customer satisfaction is not enough for the organization. The company should also take into consideration the cost of the product. Providing products to consumer at reasonable prices will also help the organization to have loyal customers for their company. If a company wants to be a customer centric, then they should make a change in their mindset. Their aim should not be to only sell the products to consumers but also solve the various problems of the consumers. For example, products should be replaced by the company and good after sales service should also be provided to consumer on timely basis. Customer centric companies always work with open mind and also sometimes work with their competitors also to fulfill the varied requirements of their consumers. For example, Alliance Air, a subsidiary of Air India, moved from manufacturing and selling its own engines. Now, the airline, instead of selling engines, focuses its attention on providing good services to consumers in their airlines. Next is advice collection. To understand the customer wishes and preferences, customer-centric companies are always engaged in communicating with their customers. That goes a long way, and it continues till before the purchase of the product and after the sale of the product. For this, companies use various kinds of technology to maintain a continuous touch with their consumers and give them relevant advice as and when required by the consumers. The greatest examples are banking and insurance companies. Time to time, insurance company either through mail, fax or phone contacts its consumers and give information about various insurance policies. They advise on which policy will be best for the consumers for their safe and a better future. Next is customer interference. This means that the consumers should take part in the manufacturing process of the company also. The best method opted by customer-centric companies is that they go for retail distribution channels. These intermediaries are skilled intermediaries and they have the full authority to provide possible solutions to the consumers. At every situation, it is not possible for the companies to arrange a physical contact with the consumers. In such circumstances, the companies go for multi-channels like retail outlets, self-service channels like email and telephone. This can also be effective measures to keep in touch with the consumers and fulfill all their servicing needs. So these days, personal care of the consumers also counts a lot in a customer-centric company. Next is suitable for business processes. Sometimes companies shift their attention from customer-centric to product-centric because the company feels that a lot of time and money is required to maintain touch with the consumers. So, to avoid these complexities, companies lose their focus and pay attention on the products only. The companies are now opening customer and service centers for solving various queries of the consumer. The company, through opening of these centers, can now focus its attention on manufacturing the product, and these centers will be responsible to handle all the grievances of the consumer. Nowadays, each company has its own customer care center, and if the customer is having any problem related with the products of the company, then they can register their complaints on the toll-free number of these centers, and their problem can be solved in seconds. Customer care centers are proving to be a cost-efficient exercise for the company. Next is cross-functional teams. Now the time has changed. Today, it is not only the responsibility of the manufacturer to sort out the grievances of the consumers. Now, each and every level and department in the organization works in harmony for solving the various grievances of the consumers. Nowadays, successful customer-centric companies have various cross-functional teams to look after the grievances of the consumers and motivates the consumers to buy the product of the organization. A customer-centric organization is now focusing its attention on the culture of collaboration. Now, with the emergence of customer-centric organization and to tailor the various solutions of customer needs, it requires a level of cooperation across functions, across product and across company boundaries. These characteristics cannot be the same in each and every company, but if present, can prove to be quite helpful in building a successful customer-centric organization. Companies are also trying their level best to have a healthy customer-centric culture in the organization. The features of such a culture are: organization is fully aware of what the customer expects from them. Organization communicates the importance of customer centricity to each level, department and employee in the organization. Organization always provides support to those people who are engaged in customer centricity. Customer-centric organizations always measure customer satisfaction and time to time make changes in their services as and when required by the consumer. Own the support of every level and work for one vision. Organization rewards those salesmen who are engaged in customer-centric selling and show better performance. Organizations also expect from their suppliers and partner firms to always reflect customer centricity while making any business deal. Organizations tailor its product and services according to the various wants of customers. Next is customer-centric selling. In customer-centric selling, the salesman does not force the consumers to buy their products, but carefully listens to the problems and needs of consumers. Salespeople should not give their expert advice to the buyers, which can ultimately sometimes result in losing the interest of buyers and they will not buy the products of your company. According to Joan R. Holland, customer-centric selling will help you stop working inefficiently and start moving towards better, longer, more mutually beneficial relationship with your customer. Now, the companies have shifted their focus from traditional selling of products to customer-centric selling, and this type of selling has become a major area of concern for the companies. There are 7 behaviors present which form part of customer-centric selling. First, avoid presentations and relying on situational conversations. In traditional times, salesmen used to make presentation on PowerPoint of their products to arouse an interest in the consumer that they should buy the product. But now the time has changed. Now the salesman indulges in an honest conversation with the consumers and motivates them to buy the product through their selling skills and techniques instead of fake PowerPoint presentations. Second, avoiding opinions and ask relevant questions. Nowadays, salesman does not force the consumers and give unnecessary opinion about their products. Salespeople who are customer centric through their skills used to ask questions from the consumers about their liking and disliking, which helps in drawing conclusion about the various needs and requirements of consumers. Third, solution solver instead relationship builder. In customer-centric selling, the salesman is much concerned in solving the problems of consumers rather than building relationships with the consumers and not deviating the mind of the consumers from the real problem he is facing with the product. If the salesman acts as a problem solver for the consumer, then the buyer will also give respect to the salesman, and ultimately due to this the salesman can also build relations with the consumer. Fourth, focus on business decision maker. In traditional selling, salesmen only talk about the product but not of its usage. In customer centric selling, the major focus is how the product is to be used in day-to-day life. In customer centric selling, the salesman major emphasis is on how to use a product and what benefits will that product will give to the consumers and how much it is profitable for the company. In customer centric selling, the salesman pay more attention on business decision makers. The salesman gathers data that how a particular use of the product can prove to be a cost-effective exercise for the company. Fifth, explaining product usage. In traditional selling, the salesman only gives knowledge to the buyers only about their product but does not demonstrate that how to use a particular product. In customer-centric selling, the salesman is personally engaged in detailed conversation with the buyers and explains how to use the particular product. Sixth, maintaining and managing progress of the company. In traditional selling, the salesman's main aim was to only sell the product and earn a handsome amount of profit for the company. But in customer-centric selling, the salesman's aim is not only to sell the product of the company but also make timely changes in their selling techniques so that progress of the company is maintained in the market. They also provide sufficient amount of information and resources to the company which will help in increasing sales of the company. In customer-centric selling, the salesman also note down the changes to be made in the product according to the taste and needs of the consumer and inform the company about these changes. 7th, forcing buyers. In traditional selling, the salesman through his selling technique forced the buyer and pursued him to buy the product of his company. Therefore, we can say that traditional selling is empowerment of buyers. In customer-centric selling, the main focus is to solve the problems of consumers and build long-lasting relations with the consumers. If the salesman will solve the problem of the consumer, then automatically the consumers will become loyal towards the company and willingly they will buy the product of the company. Thus, these were the various features of customer-centric selling, and they also reflect the difference between traditional selling and customer-centric selling. Now we will discuss about the core concepts of customer-centric selling. Customer-centric selling helps in reframing the concept of selling, empowering sellers and executing sales ready message. This type of selling also helps buyer in visualizing their offerings to achieve a particular goal and also help in solving various problems related with satisfaction of wants. Thus, reframing has been considered as one of the core and important concepts in customer selling approach. The various core concepts of this type of selling are delegation of authority to other people. The concept says that if the traditional salesperson proves his capability in selling the product and attracting more and more consumers in buying the product of his company, then his authority will not be delegated. But if he fails to attract the audience attention, then his authority will be delegated to another salesperson. Next, diagnosis before prescription. It is truly said that take the time in diagnosing a problem before offering a prescription. This means that in today's dynamic and competitive environment, the salesperson should be sincere enough in his duties and should be capable enough that he can compete with other people in the market. A customer-centric salesperson helps buyers in achieving their goals and provides a solution of their various problems in satisfaction of their needs and wants. Thus, the salesperson should diagnose the varied problems of consumers before offering the product to the consumers. Next, bad news change into good news. Salespeople should not be engaged in extraordinary long sales cycle, because if they wait for a longer period of time, then they can miss ample of opportunities in selling the product to consumers. It is truly said that bad news can be changed into good news if salesperson immediately finds sales winning opportunity and sell the product to the consumers. Next, don't close the sale before the buyer is ready. Once a seller closes a deal with the buyer, their relationship will never be safe. Sellers should make sure that they understand the buyer's goal and how they can be achieved by telling the usage of the product. The sellers must understand the buyer's current position and help the buyer in justifying the cost of purchasing the decision of the product. Qualifying buyers. Many organizations have been slowed down because of their inefficiencies in selling methods. Thus, sales managers should work out with their sales people to qualify buyers and develop a smooth and efficient sales management system. The sales should identify the various key players whom they can access in order to sell, fund and implement a product or service offering. Thus, these were the important concepts of customer-centric selling. When followed by companies, can help in generation of ample of profit for the companies. Customer centricity is about identification of most valuable consumers. Customer-centric organizations always tailor their products according to the requirements of consumers. In customer-centric selling, salesman carefully listens the problem of consumers and tries to solve them. There are 7 behaviors present in customer-centric selling. There are 6 characteristics revealed by researchers which make the organization customer-centric. Customer Care Center also plays a great role in customer centricity. Customer-centric selling helps in reframing various sales messages.